for Morecambe in England, a beautiful part of the country, absolutely glorious in the sun. David, so let's get straight to the grabberman here. Who is your preferred candidate to be Prime Minister replacing Liz Truss?
Well, I want a continuity candidate, to be truthful. I can't say who I want. However, it is out there on social media before I had any board meetings, because I'm on the board of the Conservative Party. So I can't actually publicly declare for a particular candidate. But from what I can understand, from what I've seen on the news so far, I do believe there's Rishi Sunak thinking of running. I think Penny Mordaunt may be thinking of running, and Boris Johnson may be thinking of running again.
Is it? I mean, give me a gut feeling here. When you heard that Boris Johnson was thinking of running again, I mean, is this a case of, oh my goodness, surely not?
Not for myself, no. I was one of the members of Parliament that stood and stayed with Boris right until the end. I didn't want to see him go. I was very upfront about that. So it wouldn't bother me one way or the other if Boris came back. And I know from my constituents that I speak to, in fact, as I'm speaking now on this phone, the emails in the background are coming up. People are wanting Boris to return.
Right. So if we look, I mean, over the last 48 hours, I've seen comments from Conservative MPs which basically said they'd never seen anything like it, particularly the incidents in the House of Commons last night. I guess the message has got through that if there were a general election tomorrow, you as a party would be annihilated.
Well, we haven't got a general election on the horizon. We have actually another 18 months to go. And as your previous guest said, I couldn't see, but I could hear what he was saying. The markets are starting to stabilise in the UK since Jeremy Hunt has come along. I was Jeremy Hunt's campaign manager on 2 elections. So, I'm very happy that Jeremy Hunt is there. And I do believe that irrespective of whoever the leader or the candidate to become Prime Minister and becomes Prime Minister is, Jeremy Hunt will stay as Chancellor. He is not running.
You see, the problem is that even if you get a stability candidate and you have a half-decent 18 months, won't the electorate just simply say, my God, what did you put us through? What did this party put the country through, where the effects of higher interest rates on borrowing because of the yield premium will be with us for years? Isn't that a justifiable criticism of the Conservative Party?
I think what the public will think of in the next 18 months' time is once the Ukraine crisis starts to pan out and we're starting to see exactly where we are and they start to see the markets rally up as we're seeing now, the public out there do realise that the cost of living energy crisis, come what may, the prices of food and supply chains are actually increasing in the UK, purely and simply because of what's going on in Eastern Europe and the Ukraine. So it's not just the UK that's feeling this pinch, it's the whole of Europe. And in fact, it's going over to America. I know your views in America will be attest to this. So I don't think it's necessarily what's gone on politically. And I don't think in 18 months' time, people will remember very much about 6 weeks in Parliament.
So assuming for the purposes purely of this question, Mr. Morris, assuming that you were in opposition and you had seen the government of the day behaving like this, what would you have said?
Well, what I would have been doing if I was in opposition is instead of just keeping, throwing stones at the opposition, meaning the government, I would have been setting out, if I was the leader of the opposition, exactly where we would be going as a cure to this crisis that we've got with the economy and the cost of living and all the problems we're facing. But instead, all we hear is criticism. We've not heard anything from the opposition. In fact, they more or less agreed with the mini budget that is causing all this controversy. In fact, the mini budget wasn't far different from what Jeremy Corbyn wanted to do. He wanted to go a little further, albeit But the actual, shall we say, the academia surrounding the reasons of why the mini budget came about, the Labour Party lost.
A final thought. I mean, by pure chance, I happen to be here in Turkey tonight. I'm on assignment in Istanbul. And, you know, you talk to people here, and we've heard from elsewhere, that the UK, or the UK political system, the government, is a laughingstock. That the last 48 hours have shown scenes that nobody ever expected to see in a mature democracy, let alone the mother of all parliaments. So, sir, I guess, where does the buck now stop?
Well, the buck has stopped. The Prime Minister has resigned, and we're going to be getting a new Prime Minister by this time next week. They may even have a new Prime Minister on Monday night. It could even be Boris Johnson again. That is where we actually are in reality, right at this moment.
David Morris, very grateful, sir. Thank you.